Good morning and welcome, everybody. The last about a week, we've been learning about the nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen is really important for plants and animals to live. In terms of us humans, we are made up of about 3% nitrogen. What nitrogen does, it's mostly in our DNA. So, nitrogen is basically the plans for what's going to happen. I have, as you can see, very messy black hair. So my DNA tells me that my hair is black. So the nitrogen is responsible for telling my body that. Then my body uses carbon to build things. We are going to start learning about the carbon cycle. Carbon is the building blocks. Your body is made up of mostly water. I'm not going to get a specific number, but somewhere in the range of 70% of your body's made up of water, which is a liquid. But you would consider yourself to be a solid. What makes you solid is carbon. So today you're going to, before we start specifically getting into the carbon cycle, I want you to be aware of what is carbon and where you would find it. Carbon is what basically builds most living things. So first thing you're going to do today is scroll through some foods that are high in carbohydrates. Get it? Carbon, carbohydrates. Things that are high in carbohydrates are made up of a lot of carbon. For example, if I were to give you some hints, searching for things like pasta, grains like rice, those are going to be the things when you try to look for that nutrition label that you'll find the most carbon. And see, I'm going to see right here, you see something that says total carbohydrates. That's where you're going to be looking. And that's how you know if something contains a lot of carbon or not. The next thing you're going to do after you look at some foods, see what types of things you eat that contain a lot of carbon, find some in your house, then you're going to think about things that run on carbon. Part of the carbon cycle is putting carbon dioxide into the air. All animals do by breathing, mostly, is how carbon dioxide gets into the air. The other way is by burning fossil fuels. Plants are made out of carbon. When plants die and animals die, and they get buried up over millions of years, they turn into things. Well, they turn into fossils. So a fossil is a living thing that has turned into stone. And they can also turn into things like coal, oil, gas, propane, butane. Those are all examples of fossil fuels. They are made out of mostly carbon. And if you get really lucky, you can, after millions of years of plants pushing together, you can get something like a diamond. Also keep in mind, something like a lighter is filled with fossil fuels. That's what gets the lighter to light. That's the fuel. So when you think fossil fuels, think of things that fuel what goes in your house or in your yard. So things like lawnmowers, cars, are all things that run on fossil fuels. The last thing I want to send you off with is then the other side of the carbon cycle. You're putting carbon dioxide into the air by breathing and by burning fossil fuels. I want you to go and thank something that takes the carbon dioxide out. The bigger the tree, the more carbon dioxide it takes out of the air. And the bigger the trunk, the more carbon that tree is storing. So go outside, thank a tree, thank the plants around you, and have a great day. Remember to click subscribe, buy all my merch. I've been designing some amazing shirts with really good jokes. You will see them soon. And I'm going to stop. That was for you, Max.